Raindrops paint the heavy glass, watching the quiet midnight pass. A forgotten wooden music box in hand, tracing lines of a distant land. Polishing the carved wood slow and deep, while the restless city falls to sleep, brushing away the dust of the day, letting the bittersweet memories stay, where the midnight breeze weaves through the dark and weeping leaves, a safe retreat from the roaring tide, with a quiet truth we cannot hide, where the midnight breeze weaves. A flickering amber lantern, warm and bright, standing guard against the endless night. Every gentle turn of the little brass key sets a fragile old melody free. A safe retreat from the roaring tide, with the quiet truth we cannot hide, where the midnight breeze weaves. The storm outside is just a lullaby, a symphony beneath the unseen sky. No need to run, no need to mend, just sitting quietly with an old friend. Let the shadows gently fall, where the midnight breeze weaves. No need to answer any call. Silver dust upon the windowsill, the floating town is perfectly still, holding a spool of midnight thread, where the heavy thoughts are gently shed. Needle passing through the velvet sky, stitching constellations as time drifts by. Fingers stained with the colors of a dream, following the path of a silent moonbeam. In the attic of forgotten moons, Smoothing the wrinkles of the dark, a glowing orange lantern leaves its mark. A porcelain cup catching falling stars, far away from the world and its scars. In the attic of forgotten moons, where the quiet magic softly blooms, a world suspended in a lazy sway. In the attic of forgotten moons, the clouds are breathing just outside the glass, watching the ethereal wonders gently pass. Nothing to chase, nowhere to be, just floating on a slow imaginary sea. Folding the night away in the attic of forgotten moons, just breathing in the dark. One leaf spins in a porcelain sea, drunken on the warmth of being free. The world outside is a story already told, steep in the memories one by one, watching the race of the day be done, pouring out the shadows slow and thin, letting the lightness of the moon begin. In the cradle of the quiet cup, where the weary heart finally looks up, nothing to lose, nothing to keep. In the cradle of the quiet cup. Walking through the garden with no name, leaving behind the hunger and the flame. My footsteps leave no mark upon the dew, old versions of me fading from view. In the cradle of the quiet cup, where the weary heart finally looks up, nothing to lose, nothing to keep. In the cradle of the quiet cup, the copper stove glows a soft warm gold, a story of peace that never grows old, just a simple miracle held in my hand, just letting it all drift away. In the cradle of the quiet cup, nowhere else to go. midnight leans heavy on the workbench. The scent of cedar fills the room like stars. I brush away the day like fine sawdust. Hands moving slow over the ancient grain, polishing the silence until it glows. Every stroke is a prayer for the weary heart. In the slow pulse of cedar, the world outside is just a paper ghost. We drift on the rhythm of the grain. In the slow pulse of cedar, sandpaper singing a hushed steady song, smoothing out the rough edges of memory, finding the map hidden deep in the wood. In the slow pulse of cedar, the world outside is just a paper ghost. We drift on the rhythm of the grain. In the slow pulse of cedar, a single candle wick breathes a golden light, chasing the shadows to the far corners. A quiet miracle carved in the dark. Walking away from the finished hour, the slow pulse of cedar stays. Good night, quiet room. The window is a canvas of silver tears, washing away the weight of the years. I hold the porcelain, warm and still, tracing the steam as it curls in the air, finding a peace that is quiet and rare. The kettle is humming a blue note song in this midnight where we both belong. In the echoes of the night rain, the world is a shadow, the city is vain. We drift where the gentle silence remains. In the echoes of the night rain, folding a blanket of stars o'er the soul, letting the fragments finally be whole. A secret prayer for the ones fast asleep in the promises that the shadows keep. In the echoes of the night rain, the world is a shadow, the city is vain. We drift where the gentle silence remains, in the echoes of the night rain. The orange lantern glows like a heart, keeping the cold and the darkness apart. Just a small light in a vast, quiet sea. Just letting the midnight be in the echoes of the night rain. A blue prayer of peace. Cooling down the day's restless fires, I hold a tiny brass key in my palm, winding the gears of a mechanical flower, stealing back a quiet, forgotten hour, polishing the silver face of the moon to a slow and ancient midnight tune. In the garden of sleeping watches, where time loses its heavy grip and pauses, just a dream within a dream, soft and blue, in the garden of sleeping watches. Everything is still, everything is deep. The shadows are long and beginning to sleep, tracing the path where the pendulum swings on the velvet weight of imaginary wings. In the garden of sleeping watches, where time loses its heavy grip and pauses, just a dream within a dream, soft and blue, in the garden of sleeping watches. A glowing amber crystal breeze on the shelf, I finally find a way back to myself. A simple miracle frozen in gold, letting the minutes drift like leaves. is dreaming in the well, with stories only the shadows tell. I hold a worn quill, light as a breath. Hands moving slow over the yellowed page, braiding the memories of a softer age, tracing the curves of a name I once knew, while the midnight world is washed in blue. In the gallery of hushed whispers, where the racing heart finally lingers, just a quiet poem written on the air. In the gallery of hushed whispers. Watching the letters dry in the glow of a life that moved beautifully slow, smoothing the parchment, silver and thin, letting the healing silence begin. Hushed whispers, where the racing heart finally lingers, just a quiet poem written on the air. In the gallery of hushed whispers, an old oil lamp breathes a warm orange flame, whispering a peace that has no name, a simple miracle in a world of glass, letting the heavy chapters pass. In the gallery of hushed whispers, everything is safe tonight. Unpacking the heavy trunk of the day, watching the worries just drift away. The tickets to nowhere are left on the chair. I'm letting go of the weight I used to bear. Braiding a silk cord from threads of the night, turning the heavy shadows into something light. My hands move slow with a patient old grace, in this quiet, unhurried and holy space. At the station of soft goodbyes, underneath the deep and dreaming skies, just a long sweet breath as the city sighs. At the station of soft goodbyes. The rails are silver under the moon's cold eye, watching the ghosts of the hours go by. No need to follow, no need to stay, just letting the silence lead the way. The station of soft goodbyes underneath the deep and dreaming skies, just a long sweet breath as the city sighs at the station of soft goodbyes. A copper lantern glows a soft and low orange, opening the heart's old rusted hinge. A simple miracle found in the release. Walking home through the fields of peace at the station of soft goodbyes. Everything is light now. The midnight leans against the ivory keys, listening to the whispers of the summer breeze. The world is a book that's finally closed. Hands moving slow, mending a torn score, finding the melodies we've heard before, smoothing the edges of a yellowed refrain while the moonlight washes away the stain. In the lullaby of the old piano, the racing hours begin to move slow, just a quiet prayer for the soul to know. In the lullaby of the old piano, dust motes dancing like stars in the room, chasing away the shadows and the gloom, tracing the notes of a life well spent in this hollow hour of pure contentment. In the lullaby of the old piano, the racing hours begin to move slow, just a quiet prayer for the soul to know. In the lullaby of the old piano, a The afternoon forgets its rush. Shadows lengthen in the hush. Fingers trace a porcelain seam, lost inside a waking dream. A worn-out record starts to spin. Where does the memory begin? Dust dancing in the fading light, keeping the heavy world from sight. Oh, let the minutes slowly fall, like raindrops on the brick red wall. Nothing to fix, nowhere to be, just dusty sunlight on the rim for me. We're anchoring time, setting it free. The ticking clock begins to rest, old letters folded in the chest, smoothing the edges of the past, finding a quiet breath at last. Slowly fall, like evening rain upon the wall. Nothing to fix, nowhere to be, just dusty sunlight on the rim for me. We're anchoring time, setting it free. A glowing ember, orange and deep, guarding the secrets that we keep. The storm outside can gently weep, while ordinary miracles sleep. Fold away the tired day, dusty sunlight on the rim, fading slow, fading away. The silver grinder turns so slow, crushing moments from long ago. Scent of roasted memories rise, drifting under autumn skies. A dusty pocket watch stands still upon the wooden windowsill. We leave the rushing world behind to see what quiet we can find. Let the golden hour remain, an amber glow across the grain. Hold this fragile, fading spark before the room dissolves to dark. An amber glow across the grain. waiting for a flame. The brass remembers every touch. Sometimes silence says so much. The twilight softly rain, an amber glow across the grain. Hold this fragile, fading spark before the room dissolves to dark. An amber glow across the grain, a tiny flicker, bright and warm, a shelter from the coming storm. No need to speak, no need to mend. Just let the lazy hours descend. The lantern sleeps, an amber glow across the grain. Let the shadows stay. A hollow breeze outside the pane, brushing against the weather vane. Fingers trace a leather spine, crossing over memory's line. The sleeping cat begins to stir, a gentle hum beneath the fur. We leave the bustling streets behind to walk the corridors of mind. Oh, let the world outside dissolve. No urgent puzzle to resolve. Just a quiet room, a quiet keep, where the faded ink sleeps, holding promises we couldn't keep. A silver needle, cotton thread, binding the words we left unsaid, patching up the worn-out seams of half-forgotten gentle dreams. Blend as the afternoon descends. Just a quiet room, a quiet keep, where the faded ink sleeps, holding promises we couldn't keep. A sepia lamp begins to glow, casting an orange tint below, soothing the edges of the fray, washing the tired day away. Close the cover, let it rest, where the faded ink sleeps, breathing in the quiet. A linen filter, dark and warm, brewing a quiet, tiny storm. Drops falling in a steady line, leaving the waking world behind. The ceiling fades to starry skies before these slowly resting eyes. We wrap the hours in a gentle fold, watching the silver mists unroll. Oh, let the giant world spin up, floating clouds in the porcelain cup. Nothing to chase, nowhere to be, just you in this velvet space with me. Floating clouds in the porcelain cup. Copper spoon stirs up the night, folding the shadows into light. The room is sailing on a breeze over the tops of ancient trees. Giant world spin up, floating clouds in the porcelain cup. Nothing to chase, nowhere to be, just you and this velvet space with me. Floating clouds in the porcelain cup. An amber pendulum starts to glow, swinging so heavy, swinging so slow, tethering dreams to the wooden floor, guarding the realm inside this door. Drink the sky, a quiet sup, floating clouds in the porcelain cup. Drifting away, drifting slow. slant across the pane, fingers smooth a folded page, resting in a quiet age. The ink is pale, the words are soft. A tiny dust mote floats aloft. We let the rushing world unwind, leaving the heavy hours behind. Oh, let the ticking clock despair, dust falling on the velvet chair. Nothing to fix, nowhere to be, just this quiet memory and me. Dust falling on the velvet chair. A silken ribbon, faded blue, tying up the thoughts of you, pressing them beneath the glass, letting the lazy moments pass. Ticking clock despair, dust falling on the velvet chair. Nothing to fix, nowhere to be, just this quiet memory and me. Dust falling on the velvet chair. A reading lamp begins to bloom, an orange glow across the room, warming up the paper's edge. A silent, softly spoken pledge. The book is closed, the day is through. Dust falling on the velvet chair, fading slow into the air. Turning the winding key so slow, watching the tiny hammers go. The afternoon begins to weep, singing the bustling town to sleep. Fingers resting on the wood, understanding what we could. We let the heavy memories slide into the quiet, safe inside. Oh, let the evening gently sigh. We're letting all the hours untie. Nothing to force, nowhere to be, just shadows on the golden dial for me. We're letting all the hours untie. A silver gear begins to turn, a gentle lesson left to learn, polishing the tarnished brass, watching the slow reflection pass. Nothing to force, nowhere to be, just shadows on the golden dial for me. We're letting all the hours untie. A warm street lamp begins to bleed, an orange light is all we need. It cuts across the falling rain, washing away the quiet pain. The winding key comes to a rest, shadows on the golden dial, fading, slow, fading away. The steam begins to curl and rise, like secret prayers to velvet skies. A tiny storm within the cup, where silver bubbles wander up. A paintbrush drips a shade of blue to catch a dream that's almost true. Hands that work with quiet grace, creating stars in this small space. Oh, let the heavy ceilings fly, porcelain clouds against the eye. Nothing to reach, nowhere to go, just watching the amber river flow. Porcelain clouds moving slow. The sugar bowl holds a galaxy dust in simple things. We place our trust. A paper boat on a tea leaf sea, sailing away from the used to be. Against the eye, nothing to reach, nowhere to go, just watching the amber river flow. Porcelain flickers orange and bright, a tiny sun to guard the night. It warms the rim of the painted plate where the lazy hours congregate. Let the dreams stay, porcelain clouds against the eye, drifting, just drifting. The afternoon forgets the wait, a lazy breeze beyond the gate, fingers smooth as silken thread, where unspoken words are softly shed. A spool of memory starts to unwind, leaving the tangled knots behind. We let the anchor gently lift and let the quiet moments drift. Oh, let the weary hands release, into this tender woven peace. Nowhere to go, no closing door, just silk resting on the wooden floor. We're breathing out, wanting no more. A golden needle catches the sun, the day's long work is finally done, mending the spaces in between with quiet colors, soft and unseen. Into this tender woven peace. Nowhere to go, no closing door, just silk resting on the wooden floor. We're breathing out, wanting no more. A warm amber light begins to spill across the dust on the windowsill, washing the tired heart in gold. A quiet story gently told. The needle sleeps, silk resting on the wooden floor.